Your empathy is being used against you, and the person using it knows exactly what they're doing. You pick up on people's emotions before they say a word. You notice tone shifts, pauses, the things hiding between sentences. You feel what they feel. And at first, that seems like a strength. It makes you caring, understanding, the kind of person people trust. But there's something no one tells you. Empathy doesn't just connect you to people. It makes you vulnerable to them. Because when you feel someone else's pain, your instinct isn't to question it. It's to fix it. And that's where everything starts to twist. You don't just hear their problems, you carry them. You don't just understand their mistakes, you excuse them. You don't just see their struggles, you start rearranging yourself to make their life easier. And you don't even notice it happening. It feels natural, like you're just being a good person. You've probably done this before. Think about the last person who came to you with their problems. Did they ever ask about yours? Someone treats you badly, but you pause. You think they've been through a lot. You replay their past, their stress, their trauma, until their behavior starts making sense. And once it makes sense, it feels forgivable, even when it hurts you. So instead of setting a boundary, you soften. Instead of pulling away, you lean in. You tell yourself they don't mean it, that they're just struggling, that they need someone who understands them, and that someone becomes you. But here's the problem. Understanding someone doesn't stop them from hurting you. It just makes you more willing to tolerate it. Because now, every time they cross a line, you don't see it as disrespect. You see it as pain. And pain is something you've trained yourself to be patient with. So you stay. You absorb more than you should. You forgive faster than you should. You give people access to parts of you they haven't earned. And over time, something shifts. You stop asking, is this okay for me? You start asking, what are they going through? And that question slowly erases you. You become the safe place for people who are unsafe for you. Think about the people who seem to find you. The ones who open up quickly. The ones who say they've never told anyone this before. The ones who lean on you heavily. At first it feels meaningful, like you're special, like you're the one they trust. But there's a pattern hiding underneath that. People who don't manage their own emotions gravitate toward people who will manage them for them. And if you're highly empathetic, you become the perfect target. Not because you're weak, because you're responsive. You listen, you validate, you stay, even when it starts costing you. And the more you give, the more they take. Not always intentionally, but consistently, because you've taught them something without saying a word. That you'll be there no matter how they treat you. That your understanding has no limit. That your empathy doesn't come with conditions. And once someone learns that, they rarely stop testing it. You might recognize the feeling, that quiet exhaustion after talking to someone. The way your energy drops, but you still respond. The way you feel responsible for their mood, even when it has nothing to do with you. You tell yourself, they need me right now. But what you don't ask is, why does it always feel like you're the one giving? Why does your empathy always flow in one direction? Because empathy, when it's unguarded, doesn't create balance. It creates imbalance. And here's the darker part. Your empathy doesn't just attract people who need help. It attracts people who know how to use it. Some people can sense it immediately. The way you listen without interrupting, the way you soften instead of reacting, the way you try to understand before you judge. To the right person, that's beautiful. To the wrong person, it's leverage. They learn quickly. If they show pain, you stay. If they explain themselves, you forgive. If they apologize just enough, you reset. So they give you just enough vulnerability, just enough guilt, just enough effort. Not to change, but to keep you from leaving. And your empathy fills in the rest. You create meaning where there is none. You assume depth where there is strategy. Because it's hard for you to imagine that someone would use emotions as a tool. But some people do. And your ability to feel deeply becomes the very thing that blinds you. You don't see manipulation, you see wounds. You don't see patterns, you see potential. And potential is dangerous because it keeps you attached to what someone could be instead of what they are. So you stay longer. You explain their behavior until you run out of explanations, and then you just accept it. Because deep down, you know something isn't right. But your empathy keeps rewriting the story. It tells you they're trying, that they care in their own way, that leaving would make you the one who didn't understand. And that thought bothers you more than the pain, because your identity is tied to being the one who understands, the one who stays, the one who sees people for who they really are. But here's the twist. Sometimes seeing people clearly means accepting that they will keep hurting you, not because they're broken, because they choose to. And empathy doesn't protect you from that. It can trap you in it. The more you understand, the harder it becomes to walk away. Because now you're not just leaving a person, you're leaving their story, their struggles, their reasons, their pain. And that feels wrong to you. But staying doesn't heal them. It just teaches them that they don't have to change, because you'll adapt instead. That's the part no one prepares you for. Empathy without boundaries turns into self-neglect. You become so focused on holding space for others that you abandon yourself in the process. And the scariest part? It doesn't feel like you're losing yourself. It feels like you're doing the right thing. Until one day you're tired in a way that rest doesn't fix. You start pulling back, even just a little. And suddenly something becomes clear. The people who truly care about you don't need your empathy to be endless. They respect it. But the ones who are using it start reacting differently. They push, they guilt you, they make you feel like you've changed, like you're becoming cold. But you're not becoming cold. You're becoming aware. And awareness breaks the illusion. Because once you see that your empathy has been one-sided, it's hard to keep giving the same way. You start noticing how rarely they ask about you, how quickly the conversation returns to them, how your needs feel like interruptions in a space you created. And that realization is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront something you've avoided. That being understanding doesn't guarantee being valued. That giving more doesn't make someone treat you better. And that empathy is not a substitute for boundaries. So now you're left with a choice. Keep being the person who absorbs everything, or become the person who decides where that empathy goes. Because not everyone deserves access to it. Not everyone should feel that side of you. And protecting that doesn't make you selfish. It makes you accurate. Because empathy was never meant to be a sacrifice. It was meant to be shared. And if you're the only one giving it, then it's not connection. It's consumption. And the longer you ignore that, the more of yourself you slowly lose without noticing. Until one day you look around and realize you've been understanding everyone except yourself.